Yes.
Dab.
And then that.
Oh, hey, I can move this over too.
Oh, should I move
Maybe.
mine over?
Probably a hair.
The great shuffling of the microphones.
There we go. Okay, Paul's on 3.
I think I'm on 3.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The orange parts that say 3. I put him on the 3.
Oh. I'm very smart.
What's up?
Oh, I was like, why isn't this tightening it up? Meanwhile, I'm turning it left.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Hey, that's neat.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting?
They're in a brand new typeface. They should be in the.
Replaced.
They should be in the condensed one.
They should have replaced that typeface.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh.
Perhaps they're doing it differently. Nope.
Huh. Weird.
All right.
I like this shirt because you can see my guns in it.
You just kind of like.
Like,
Yeah.
they look good. I have good shoulders.
As is always,
definition.
as is the
It's
case,
all that toddler lifting.
if you've seen me talk about the little chat monitor script we use, the problem is that, or the how it operates is by modifying the Twitch chat on the fly. So anytime Twitch updates its styling,
You have to make
my
a-
script tends to break a little bit because.
I mean, I kind of like this font. It's a little bit more open, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the idea with the compressed font was just to make it so that more text fit on the screen.
So it didn't have to wrap multiple lines. You could
But
actually
yeah,
wrap
I
less
mean we
lines.
can.
I don't think this is like. I feel like on a smaller monitor, this might be easier to read.
Yeah, if it was in like fast mode, like we were like flying through stuff all of a sudden, then we will miss more stuff.
Yeah.
But it's that, which is great for Desert Bus. Like we need it to be compressed so we can actually fit more of you on the screen. But here you're right, it doesn't really matter. Not many people are chatting so far.
Well,
You know,
talk more.
You don't have to. It's
Let's
fine.
stress out the system. Let's see how it works.
So yeah, let's.
Desert Bus, says Bill the Cat.
I wanted to say the other thing that I've heard people talking about with the the Final Fantasy VII box is that we know now, of course, that Final Fantasy VII Remake will just be the first part of Final Fantasy VII. It'll be just the Midgar portion.
Yeah,
of
like
the
the
game.
first 4 hours of the game that has been expanded.
Yeah, and the box is just called Final Fantasy VII Remake. It makes no mention, apparently will make no mention of the fact that you're only getting like the first disc of the actual game,
Do you think that
which seems kind of crappy to me.
it'll be
Thank
one of
you,
those
Bearcat.
like thin pack things where when you open it, there's a disc inside and room for 4 more?
The thing is, the original game was like 80 hours
The thing
long.
is, at this point, they actually don't know how many sections it's going to be in.
So they'll have to wait till the very end, and then they'll release the last disc, and it'll come in a beautiful box that you can slide all the rest of your discs into, right? That's what they'll do, right?
At the rate that they're going, by the time they release the last thing, disc media isn't going to be a thing.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I mean, the heat death of the universe will have occurred by that point, I'm sure.
well, I
So
mean,
yeah, the exciting thing about though is what's the second part of it? Is it going to be like Final Fantasy Remake Part 2, Final Fantasy Remake the second,
probably part 2.
continued?
Yeah.
I think, as somebody who works on things to be released on a schedule, putting together the first bit always takes the longest.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Dream Drop Distance, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is Square Enix we're talking about. So the naming system isn't necessarily
Yeah.
going to make any sense.
7-2, oh god.
They'll decide
Final
to like...
Fantasy, I mean, yeah, the 13 or 13.2 was a thing.
Yeah, they'll
11.2 was a thing.
They'll
No,
probably even be
10.2.
like, they'll be doing this and they'll be like, it'd be really good. We should actually insert an entire game in like 2.5. Like so some stuff in Final Fantasy VII we didn't actually cover. that we
Yeah,
wanna
for
cover.
sure. There's going to be lots of bullshit that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Like, the scope creep on this is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're basically turning the Midgar part of Final Fantasy VII into a whole game unto itself,
Never got to see how Cloud and Tifa grew up. We should do an entire game about that.
which is like, okay, cool, but maybe just make it its
How
own
much do you know
game.
about Final Fantasy VII?
Fucking nothing.
Yeah, I can tell by
Yeah,
when you
don't
said we
care.
don't even
Call
get
it
to see
like-
how Cloud and Tifa grew up. It's like that's
Call it like Final Fantasy. Like there already are Final Fantasy spin-off games.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Final Fantasy VII
Who-
spin-off games.
Who does Barrett marry after the game is over? We need to have a game about that.
he actually starts out as a widower, so we could like meet his wife.
There we go. We need to see his original wife. We need to have a farming game where he learns how to farm and he gets his machine gun arm at some point. Yeah.
When in a terrible farming accident.
Yeah, exactly. And all they could replace it with was this machine gun.
It's like, how was a machine gun going to help me farm?
Yeah.
Fill
I
it with
wouldn't.
seeds?
Okay, so Barrett has a daughter, and as somebody who also is responsible for a human, I don't think if I lost an arm, if I would choose to have that arm replaced by a machine gun.
I mean, if you're the only one who can operate
can-
the trigger.
You can't hug your daughter with machine gun arms.
No,
I mean, you could, but it seems dangerous.
him losing his arm is in the original game.
Anyway,
That was fun.
other stuff. Talk about the Overland has the dyslexic font option, which, as you said, it's
Yeah.
like it's not like a joke. It's just like, oh hey,
I didn't know that was a thing.
it's just
Which makes perfect sense that if you have trouble reading, of course you're going to have trouble reading and playing video games. And I didn't know there was like obviously a font that doesn't solve things for everyone, but
And I mean, we're already.
seems like a good thing.
I feel like it's almost like the next step, like the colorblind modes for games has become pretty common these days. And so, more of those kinds of accessibility things seems like a great idea.
The Moatman says that some dyslexic fonts don't have a significantly statistical boost over other fonts that are dyslexic friendly. I just like the idea of designing your game with the fact that there is either a specific dyslexic font or a dyslexic friendly mode.
Yeah.
Where just your kerning is greater,
Yeah.
right? So the letters are easier to read. I don't think that's a whole lot of work for a developer.
And I think, from what I understand, sort of dyslexia is it's kind of a family of it manifests itself differently in different people. So things that help one person might not help somebody else or whatever, but trying to improve that in whatever way possible is a good idea. Ms. Pac-Man told BS. Apparently,
That was pretty much everything in that story is the entire story, except for the ROM hack thing.
I saw some people in the chat, like, as soon as you mentioned at games, going like, "Oh God, these guys."
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you have a lot of built up positive, positivity in the community when you're releasing, like, doing these cool kind of retro ports and stuff.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of sort of free goodwill in the community, and the fact that apparently at games has kind of squandered that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That apparently they're not well received in the community anymore.
It's funny because like they also made at Games made a Mega Drive, like a Genesis console, and apparently it was just the emulation was really bad.
Oh, were they the ones that made the Genesis one?
The first
the
one.
first Genesis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then Sega said, "Hey, we want no," and they just brought it back in house and they did it themselves.
Yeah,
And
there's
they have much better
a
one
new
now.
one out. Yeah, because the original the one that came out was they were using a bunch of the games were the PAL ROMs that were then being turned into
NTSC.
NTSC, so the frame rate was wrong.
Neat.
It was a bad times.
It's just very the whole thing is the whole thing is just kind of like these guys just seem like they kind of have been doing a worse and worse job over time, and then this happens, and it's like this company could end up going out of business, and then you can really get those mini cabinets for cheap. $500, I can't believe it. Anyway,
Who wants that? They're kind of low too. They're so small.
they're
Like,
50-year-old dudes who want to get them for their kids. Who have
Yeah.
have a 3-car garage and they're like, I want to get something cool for my kids so I can put in their playroom.
and they're like, I don't
It's-
want this. I
No.
want to play
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Actually, no, we figured it out. It's for grandparents. It's for grandparents who because they would have had to been 20 years old playing Pac-Man in the 70s, right? So they'd be like 70 years old now, and they'd be like, they're like, oh, sweet,
Wait,
this.
how long ago was the 70s?
I'm 40 years old. 1979 is when I was born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
19. Yeah.
So, if you're 60 and you have grandkids, you're like, I have an awful lot of fucking money, and I totally want to give my kids the thing that I played when I was young, or my grandkids this thing, and they buy this. They're like, look, I spent money on this tiny console for you so you can play it when you come and hang out at my house because I have nothing fun to do over here. And they're like, thanks, Grandpa. I have a Nintendo Switch. I can go sit in my bedroom and play this all I want. Mm-hmm. And it costs the same amount as that fucking Miss Pac-Man cabinet.
It costs less.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was saying, Beach, the other thing I could see this being used for is set dressing in a movie where they want to show that like a kid is really rich.
Yeah.
And so they just have like rich stuff around in his room.
Right.
Arcade cabinets.
I feel like that's a pretty narrow market that they're targeting though.
So Pac-Man's from the 70s.
Yeah.
That's cool.
From like the late 70s.
Okay,
I think,
well,
yeah.
but you know what also from the late 70s is a lot of music I like. In fact, I've been like, hey, Penelope, check out these bands. So, but it just occurred to me that me being like, Penelope, you should listen to Marquee Moon by Television, which she's like, meh, on. But like the important is you expose people early to a wide variety of musical inputs and you let them make their own choices. Sure. But it's the equivalent of my dad being like, hey, let's listen to some songs from the Great War, I guess the Second World War.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it might not be appealing to everybody, and especially to like kids this age. But
I mean, the difference though is that his music wasn't good, whereas yours is good, of course.
I mean, my dad didn't play me songs from like before the 1960s because my dad didn't like any old music.
Nice.
And then of course there's the thing about Slowpoke becoming the mascot, which there's I was saying to Beej that there's got to be like a quite like a bidding contest hierarchy because there's a lot of prefectures in Japan have Pokemon as their mascots.
And one of them, which is in the Kyushu region, took Eevee. They
those
have
bastards!
Eevee.
They got one of the best Pokemon.
Not only that, they not only have Eevee, they have all of the Eeveelutions.
What?
Yeah.
How many mascots does one prefecture need?
That's what I thought.
Surely somebody could have Leafeon.
But then it's like there's clearly a hierarchy of Pokemon that's not only even explicit in the game. Some Pokemon are objectively better than other Pokemon, right?
Yeah, the Pokemon world is very unfair.
And so if like you're a really small prefecture, you have to have like whatever, one of the like Kukunia or whatever, the ones that like don't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like whatever, Pikachu gets to be on like the most famous prefect. But there's got to be like some sort of like bidding war, being like,
yeah,
we're gonna take Slowpoke away from this place, and Slowpoke is gonna move to this other place. It's like sports stars like moving from different teams.
Yeah.
Do you think that we could write okay, there's like 90 prefectures?
Yeah.
Or something.
Sure.
I had to look this up once.
Yeah.
And there's 700 Pokemon?
Yeah.
Some of which people probably don't like very much.
Yeah. I'm sure that like the Alolan ones,
you
they
probably
can just
don't
be like,
like
that wouldn't be cool for us to take an Alolan one, and maybe not one of the Galar ones either. But there's got to be at least one left over that fits like British Columbia.
Well, I was going to say maybe we could just get it for just the moon base. We could have our own Pokemon tourism ambassador here.
Oh shit!
I bet the like
tourism destination again.
Oh,
I bet the various the surprisingly large number of Pokemon that eat children are probably up for grab. Like probably nobody wants to.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We'll have the one that's like a balloon that grabs children and floats them away.
That sounds great, actually. Yeah, that Chandelure. I don't care. Like, there's no way we could have Wooloo.
Yeah, Wooloo is going to be a high demand one.
Yeah, New Zealand would probably come up and stab us if we tried to take Wooloo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wooloo is like literally based on the whatever that sheep is from New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a British sheep, but yeah.
But like there's the famous New Zealand sheep that got completely covered in wool, right?
Oh yeah, it just turned into an orb because it went for a walkabout. It didn't want to be sheared.
And then it hid in a cave for like 5 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
It was like you can pry it off my cold dead
Shrek,
body.
yeah.
Oh God.
And they did.
No, then they just shaved it and put it back out again.
They're like, oh, you're still useful. What will we do with this famous wool?
All right.
Probably make it into like carpets or something.
Yeah.
I want to get a wool blanket. They're very nice.
Other stuff that other stories that we didn't talk about. Katamari Damacy's creator's next game is called Watam.
Yeah.
And it's coming out soon.
And I think I feel like when we played Katamari Damacy, we were like, wow, this is such a weird and crazy game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody realized that was like the most mainstream game this guy could think of.
Yeah. Because he made
Like-
Nobi Nobi Boy after that.
Yeah,
Which
and
is,
then there's this game which is like completely out there. It's like giant. You're like controlling all sorts of different things, including different multicolored poop
Yeah, I watched the trailer a
That-
couple
that,
times
like-
and I was like, I can't tell you anything about this
that
game.
like make friends with each other and hold hands and dance.
Yeah, it's a game about connections between people and poos. And poos and toilets. That's all I could get.
I mean, I think that there's other aspects of it, but that was certainly the part that kind of makes an impression. And speaking of weird games,
Yeah.
as somebody mentioned in the chat, Death Stranding,
yeah.
They're getting a special edition PS4.
getting a special edition PS4 with the really cool handprints
Yeah.
on the side that have an outline of like the continents on them, which
Yeah.
look awesome, and the slightly less cool transparent yellow plastic controller,
Yeah.
which is reminiscent of the like.
Atomic Purple is back, baby.
Which is reminiscent of like the little the like cocoon that the baby is in from that he
Yeah.
carries around.
Honestly, I am so hyped for Death Stranding. I have entered and don't tell me about it mode.
The great thing about Death
The game looks
Stranding is
weird.
no matter how much you watch about it, you still don't know what the game is about.
I saw a
Yeah.
little bit. I saw a little bit of I saw like a summary of the gameplay highlight video, and I went, oh,
But like, it's a game where you can.
this game's for me.
It's a game where they can release an hour of gameplay footage, and people still don't know what the game is about.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Death Stranding is going to be the video game equivalent of an art film. Yes. Have you met me? I'm insufferable. This sounds exactly like everything I've ever wanted.
I like MTV CDM's take on this. It's a Hideo Kojima universe, and you are a horrible goose. Could you imagine that's really just all what the game is it's just Untitled Goose Game, but it's
There's
dark
monsters
and
everywhere.
foreboding.
Apparently, Death Stranding is going to have a very easy mode for people who just want to experience the story and don't care about the gameplay.
Good for them.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be lots of people who are going to be like, oh, I want to play this weird art game, but I've never really played like a Metal Gear game before.
Yeah. The take I had on the controller was essentially that we are back in the N64 era and everything is see-through again. And I was
the see-through plastic.
yeah, it's like this is like all that shit you can get on eBay.
So because of just how the controller is configured, like the back is not opaque, but there's like bumpers that are opaque. But the main part that you can see through is like on the like part that you hold that has the rumble things in them.
Yeah.
So I thought it would have been great if they had put like little like fetus appliques on the rumble things, because because you can see that through the.
Oh God! And every time they rumble and move, you would see
like,
the baby get
spins
shake.
it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Terrible. Yeah.
Poor baby.
Poor baby.
I can't wait to play this game.
I can't wait for people to tell me what it's about.
Yeah, well, Graham and I are both quite hyped for this, and I'm like, what if in some sort of perfect universe? When does Death Stranding come out? Is there a release date?
It's got to
for
be
it yet?
soon, considering it's like
It's got a PlayStation.
They've shown that it's
But they didn't even talk about its state of play. I thought, like, other than like
November 8th.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
just in time for Desert Bus.
Perfect.
Perfect. Maybe after Desert Bus and after all the work on Road Quest is done.
Play
Graham-
it forward after Desert Bus.
Yeah, Gray and I can do it as a play it forward because we both want to play it, and that resolves the I want to play it. No, you want to play it, as we just play it together. Oh, they announced 12 hours ago that the game has gone gold. I'm very excited.
Cool.
Here's my hype up list is Death Stranding and the new Animal Crossing.
Polar opposites.
See my previous remarks being me and insufferability. Blah, 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 blah.
So I feel kind of there's this the new Mario Kart for mobile devices.
Yeah, Mario Kart Tour.
Apparently it's super fun and
Okay.
super Mario Kart, like it really replicates the experience of Mario Kart. But I feel like Nintendo was sort of not in the mobile market for so long.
Yeah.
And they've gone into it now, and they're kind of doing the weird. They're sort of doing the like messing around with different ideas of how to monetize things in the mobile market that everybody else kind of figured out like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so they started with they tried to do you buy it and then that's it
Yeah.
system. Apparently the system that they're trying for Mario Kart Tour is there's a $5 a month subscription fee for it that gives you like a variety of things as well as access to the 200cc mode. That's the only way to get the 200cc mode.
You have to
Oh, I
subscribe.
see.
Okay,
Is
interesting.
$5 a month subscription fee to it.
I
Which,
would.
as this article pointed out, considering like say Apple Arcade is also $5 a month and gives you like 100 games,
Yeah.
that feels kind of out of whack.
The
Yeah.
Awkward Burb says, and also Gachapon, so it's
Yeah.
like, see, I would pay a subscription for a monthly game if they're like, here's your subscription. When you get the subscription, you don't get Gachapon or anything like that. You have like X amount of items that because we release free items monthly, and you can grab X amount of them. But if you want all of them, you can buy a bit more premium currency or something
Yeah.
like that. I would be totally down for that if it took the Gachapon elements out. You could just, oh, this is the new line. I want all of that. Oh, it's not covered on under my like $5 a month. Okay, I'll give you an extra $10 and get everything from
Yeah.
this line or whatever, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I feel like there'd still be a way to do a subscription and get you to add in more, but I feel like if people are paying you, they should guarantee that they get things in the game. None of this Gachapon crap.
Yeah, the like subscriptions where it's not like MMOs, you can kind of see the subscription fee. It sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
You have to pay for servers and blah blah blah. But yeah, just the regular subscription fee. We've talked about the thing with the proliferation of like Netflixy things and all this stuff. It's like you can't have very many games if you're paying $5 a month per game, right?
Yeah.
And also, like I said, stuff like Apple Arcade is $5 a month for all the Apple Arcade games, which it's been kind of funny there's been a couple articles come out being like, I install these games and I just play them.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no ads. There's
Yeah.
no things that ask me to upgrade.
It cost me
It's-
$5 to do that.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
There's like this like realization that it's like, oh yeah, that's how games work on other systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thought is that with Apple and Google both investigating like ways to just get people to pay a flat fee for games and like take out some of the microtransactions. Obviously, I don't keep up with how much money an app store makes, and it's notoriously difficult to track how much the average game makes and stuff like that. But my thought is that the bottom must be coming out of that ecosystem as people are getting just exhausted by it. And unless you truly love a game, you don't really pay any money for it nowadays, and you don't do the in-app purchases or anything. So they must be trying to figure out a way to like transition the mobile gaming industry off that, because it seems suspicious that Apple and Google both bring that out at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, well, and
Because if the system was broke, why would they? If the system was working as well as it had previously, why would they be looking at getting around it and like giving people an alternative?
And I mean, the consoles like Xbox, PlayStation, and now the Switch, all had that kind of thing, like Xbox Gold and like PS Plus, and like now the Switch Online thing. And it's like being able to just dump some money in every month and then have games show up on your device is like. That has kind of always been a thing where people are like, I like doing that, especially the ones where it's like you just get to keep the game. I think people were like, I like being a part of this process of, yes, I'll drop this amount of money every month because I know that in 6 months that game that came out like at like $70 is probably going to drop to a point where I can actually just get it through PS Plus or something, right?
Speaking of which, if you're on Twitch Prime, you should be every month you should be getting a bunch of free games. BT dubs if you have Twitch Prime. every month Twitch gives you like 3 or 4 free games, some of which are actually really good.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying regulation is also like starting to
Well,
come
yeah,
down the
the-
line
the- all
because
the-
people are like, this seems a lot like gambling because it is.
I mean, we've talked about it on CheckPoint that
Yeah.
the gambling loot box stuff is starting to get cracked down upon.
I mean, because that's what it is. It's you are spinning a slot machine for a chance at what you want. Like there's
in some cases, literally.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's funny that whenever I buy a cookie in Animal Crossing, the cookie is predetermined.
Mm-hmm.
Like the moment the cookie shows up being
To
available.
be fair, most of the time when I buy a cookie, the cookie is predetermined. Yeah.
Exactly. When I buy the cookie in Animal Crossing, it's like, and I crack it, I can't just like stop the game and then reload it and then go back to the cookie and tap it again and be like, maybe I'll get something different. It's like the moment that cookie becomes available to me, it's like we have already locked in what you're getting from this. So to keep you from doing that restart thing until you get the thing that you want, which is a little weird because then it kind of feels like, is it gotcha if it's already predetermined? If you already know you're going to lose because
Well, no,
it's
because
set
they give
that
you the
way,
odds, right?
And you never know. You don't know what's behind that cookie, right?
Yeah.
It's just really weird to me that it's like I wouldn't. It's like betting on a horse race, and it's like, well, we know what the outcome's going to be, but we're not going to tell you what it is until you actually give us money, and then we'll tell you what the outcome is.
Funny story, slot machines are also, the moment you put your money into a slot machine,
It decides whether you win or lose.
there's a random number generator thing that decides whether you win or lose. Everything you do from that point on, and all the like little games you play, all this stuff,
Yeah.
does not matter.
Yeah.
Legally, in at least in Las Vegas, it has to be done that way. You can't actually have any skill involved.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's crazy. All right. Other thing. The Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty that's coming out, is a multi-platform release and is actually going to be cross-play, which is pretty cool. But the PS4 version is going to have an exclusive mode that isn't available on any of the other versions,
Oh, that sucks.
and it's exclusive for a year.
So it's not exclusive. It's just time exclusive.
It's timed exclusive to the point where it'll be, pointless.
The new game will come out next year.
They're on like a cycle where they're basically going to have the new one
Right.
already coming out by the time,
Cool.
which is a pretty crappy. The whole it's kind of a crappy, like, especially since they
Yeah.
didn't really talk about this like earlier.
I do like that some people in the comments, I think I was reading for this, were saying that this might have actually just been a condition between Activision and Sony for them to be like,
in
we
order
want,
to do crossplay.
it's like, yeah, you can do crossplay, but we want this one thing to be an exclusive just to us. It's like, well, we can't do that. How about a time exclusive? Yeah, we can do that. Okay, great. 1 year. Fine. I guess that's fine.
Also, I do like that so far from the narrative from the Infinity Ward narrative director tweeted that we've tried our best to have an open dialogue with our players from day one. These are complicated decisions that are above our pay grade. We want to do what's best for our players.
Okay, his boss told him this is what's happening.
I mean, theoretically there aren't that many positions above that guy's pay grade in terms of the production of this particular game.
This is a C-level thing. This is vice presidents and stuff.
This is like the great battleships of Sony and Activision moving in international waters.
Of course, there's this weird situation now where
He's out there in a dinghy.
but there's this weird situation now where Sony can like advertise that, hey, if you get it on PlayStation,
PS4, yeah.
you get this extra thing, whereas but simultaneously, the Call of Duty people are being like, that extra thing is not actually that good.
Yeah, it's there, but
It's like there, but it's a
We
really
weren't
small
putting our
thing.
whole ass into it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
it's 1% of the game.
So there's kind of a weird mixed message coming through because they have to try to make it look like it's not that big a deal to make people a little happier. But anyway.
What else?
In further Fallout 76 messing up news,
Uh-huh.
but not of the game. This is more news about them messing up the special
the
edition
merchandise.
stuff, which they already were messed up
Yeah,
there was a big thing when it first came out.
about the bags.
Yeah, that there was originally going to be a canvas bag that came with it.
And then it was a plastic bag.
And then it turned into like a crappy plastic bag.
But the part that they did get right, turns out they also got wrong. Because the helmet collects mold.
Yeah, or was moldy. I think it's like the inner liner like was moldy in it. So they're like, do not
Put it on your head.
Do not keep the helmet. It is dangerous.
Yeah, you'll get moldy lung.
Which, I mean, I feel like, in the post-apocalyptic world of Fallout, their helmets are probably kind of moldy. Maybe this is just accuracy.
So this is a GameStop thing. I don't. So
Oh right, it's a different helmet. It's a different helmet. It's the
it's
helmet
the
that they
Nuka-Cola
sold.
one or something, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Bethesda did nothing wrong here. It's the separate company. All right, well.
I mean,
Still.
So was it that they were like in a storeroom at GameStop for too long or something, or they had like a?
I mean, sometimes stuff just like you get stuff made and then it sits in crates before you're actually ready to get it out because it's like we need to be able to beat time to market, right? So you order a bunch of stuff, it gets made, it goes into a warehouse, and then when you need it, it's like okay, now do distribution. It's like great. That's like iPhone 6s had that problem for a while where it's like a lot of them were sitting in warehouses getting too warm and it ruined the battery. And so they had to get battery replacements later. This is a similar kind of thing. It's probably like, this was probably in a nice, hot, humid warehouse, started collecting mold. They all started collecting mold, and there you go. That would be a way it would happen. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that would be a way it would happen.
So, yeah. So, as people are saying, theoretically, it's one of these things that's not actually Bethesda's fault, but they kind of get shafted by it anyway. Mm-hmm. Such is the way.
Yep. It shows up in the story about Fallout.
And finally, Fortnite fans. Guess what? We don't really report on Fortnite anymore because it's boring and nobody cares.
Yeah,
Well, sometimes
never comes up.
It's just there has to be like they do so many stupid things that there has to be something really weird.
Well, they're
happening.
they're really pushing the envelope now. They might be giving the game a new map. That's right.
Well, they
Get out of here,
there's so much
Dusty Divot, or whatever the hell.
There's because the map for Fortnite keeps changing all the time. Like they
Yeah.
keep messing around with it and adding new places and blowing shit up. And
But it's always been the same map.
and
It's
so
just
the
new.
idea is that they're going to be doing like a full redo of the map.
Yeah.
The continent just lifts up, flips over, goes back down again, and everyone drowns, and new players.
The great Atuin
And there's
turns through the universe.
there's like and within the whatever loosely qualifies as story in Fallout, there's like all sorts of like temporal there is like some
Yeah,
there's some sort of like story they've tried to use to
Yeah.
like connect all the pieces together. There's like temporal rifts and meteors that come down and blow things up and people with superpowers, and it reminds me a little bit of like the story that they try to put in between like matches in Mortal Kombat or something, where it was like
Yeah.
nobody really needed a story in
No,
this.
not really. I don't need
But
a
okay.
motivation. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another Fortnite story that came up about how bots are now showing up in the game. It's like you rather because everyone doesn't.
Oh, and
wanna wait-
rank based matchmaking. So you can't just go slaughter a bunch of people who are not good at the game.
Yeah, and so it's like a bunch of other
No.
changes, but the bot thing I thought was really interesting because it's like this game is about playing against a lot of other humans. Also, you can't start a game.
Did they? Oh,
I'm
so
like,
this
wait,
is-
you can't. Yeah, it was like they were going to insert bots, and I was just like, I thought Fortnite was like the most popular game in the goddamn world. How are there not people waiting to like always ready
Well,
to get into a game?
I feel
right?
it's connected to like the skill based matchmaking, right? Like there might not always be people ready at the highest echelon to play a game.
Fair enough.
And like, there's just like, all right, you've been waiting for too long. We're just going to throw in some bots. They'll probably die first, but like whatever.
Cool.
Right? We just want to get the game going.
That would probably get me to play Fortnite actually because I'd find it was completely just impenetrable when I tried playing it a couple times.
Oh, it is impenetrable.
Yeah.
It's all about kids with sick micro who can like build in 3 dimensions while you're like running around going, first person shooters make me dizzy because I'm old.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a story a while ago about what's it called, the battlegrounds,
Right. PUBG.
PUBG, yeah.
Yes.
Where the mobile version of PUBG, the first, if you're at a fairly low rank, will, when you're playing, you won't actually be playing against all. It transparently inserts bots in the lower as you start playing the game.
Fascinating.
It will the lower levels. It inserts bots that suck, basically to make you feel better.
Ah, okay.
And then at a certain point, after it starts allowing more and more people real people into the game until you're playing against full team of real people. So when you first start playing, I think this is only on the mobile version.
Okay.
People are doing a lot better than and then once you've played for a while, it gets harder because it's real people.
Makes sense, yeah. I don't mind that so much.
Which is kind of a funny idea.
All right.
All right, so that was all the news that thought was interesting in terms of stuff. TwitchCon's going on this weekend, so
We are not there.
No.
we're not there, but that's probably
For the best.
part of the reason why they did the update. And who knows, maybe there'll be cool new things coming out. But there's like so many. There used to always be the thing where it was like, oh well, there's a convention going on, so the news kind of dries up around conventions
Yeah.
and stuff. But I feel like there's basically always either a convention about to happen or just finished these days.
Yeah.
So it's really not an excuse anymore. Also, lots of companies just ignore conventions now. Mm-hmm. That whole that whole E3 not being a real thing, or being like a
Influencer contest?
Yeah, well, and just like, there's the Nintendo Directs, and obviously earlier this week was the PlayStation State of Play, where we got a bunch of announcements, like that Death Stranding PS4 and the whatever the game is by the Katamari Damacy guy. Wattam is coming out, and a bunch of like Last of Us 2 is coming out in 2020 or something. Right, so like I feel like most companies are like, what if we announce the news that it's the time that we pick?
Yeah, what if we just announce it when we're ready to announce it? Because E3 really doesn't get that much. E3 doesn't get many more people than we can just get on our own.
Yeah. And stop paying for the privilege of announcing our announcements.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Smart marketing. Death to E3.
So yes, but of course we want to thank all the people who subscribed during the stream, because you are what allows us to be here and tell you silly video game
Right,
stuff.
yes. We are late.
And we are running a little late.
We don't want to hold up Talking Sim.
Yes, coming up next is Talking Sim, by the way, not
LRR MTG, because we did
Not
that
MTG.
Throne of Eldraine thing
Yes.
Yeah.
on Tuesday all day. Sadrox, thank you.
Thank you for subscribing. All these
Spin on for 9 months. Thank you for your sub.
Glider 13.
Take that again.
Gilder 13. Gilder 13 for 4 months. Good job gilding your glider.
Hey, thank you for subscribing. The Quiet Ale Stain, Glees89, Tismug, and Lumpy Gravy 46. Thank you very much to the Maricat, who has given an outstanding amount of subs.
If you're gonna ale stain, do it quietly, please.
Yeah.
Croc5 returns for the 21st month. Welcome back.
Also gifted by the Maricat, we got 00 Busy Hands, Emperor Floyd, Melia, Max7575 MTG, Hoser2, and Wasterfui. Thank you very much.
And Serafina, hello, has been here for 45 months.
Radian returns for their 2nd year. Welcome back.
Commander Nuffin for 3 months. Thank you.
And Binny has been here for 18 months. Thank you.
Illiterate A for their 2 years as well. Welcome back.
Vorpal Warhammer. That's cutting somebody's head off with a warhammer is a tough deal. For 22 months.
Norman Reedus, the Funky Fetus, gifted by the Maricat.
All right.
Very appropriate. Darokin for the 67th month. Welcome back. I forgot what order we were going in.
Margie RG for 28 months. Thank you very much.
I upset the natural order of things by just cutting in.
I'm glad you did.
Jadar 5000.
And Cheeto Jack on their 63rd month. Welcome back.
And we got 969 bits from H-Bomb and Friends, Lord Crusher, E-Block, the Maricat, and Contingent Cat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And as a couple people mentioned in the chat. It's going to be kind of a twofer on Talking Sim today, I believe. They're going to be looking at WoW Classic.
Oh no, it's
No,
Telling Lies.
It's Telling
Oh,
Lies.
Telling Lies.
Yeah.
Cameron has a headache and is not coming in.
Oh, okay.
He's not feeling well. So Corey's doing Telling Lies, and then
And then
her and Adam.
a little bonus Talking Sim of NetHack,
Yeah.
which
Neat.
is kind of the original roguelike, or a very, very early roguelike. I guess Rogue would probably be the original roguelike, what with the name and all, as what we call NetHack likes,
Yeah.
which would be a terrible name.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Goodbye.
And then,
So-
the other thing in terms of streaming updates is tonight, rather than the long game, Graham isn't feeling well, so instead, it was going to be the long game and then
Play it forward, but it
Play
will
it
be just
forward.
play it forward.
so
Yeah.
play it forward is going to be earlier, and we're
Oh
just
yeah,
going to do
no
that.
Cam would also mean no long game too, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
I think
yeah.
it just
True.
kind of all coincided at not a bad time. So good.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So but you still get more of that sweet Four Swords action tonight. All right.
All right, thanks everybody for watching, and
Don't go away.
Don't
Stick
go away.
around. Corey's going to be right back.